and it controlled the other portion of the plant. Okay? So having bought that ownership and having bought that control, Hydro-Quebec's executives are mandated and required to do what's best for Hydro-Quebec. So whether there's an opportunity to sell some energy down in the United States or whether there isn't, if in fact they had some excess energy, which of course their last corporate report shows that they were 1,000 megawatts lower of generating capacity than their peak. They didn't have enough capacity to meet their peak. They were buying then, probably some of it from New Brunswick. But so there's no great excess, but there is excess energy the way their system works. So it's to their benefit to sell that energy at a higher price into the United States because they've got, this isn't their only connection. They have 3,800 megawatts already of connections into the United States, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire. They're working on another 1,400 right now.
Exactly, with New Hampshire.
So they've got lots of opportunities to go where they want to go. They won't be thinking about when they're deciding who's going to produce what and what's going to happen with expansion. They have to do what's best for Quebec.
So is there a concern that New Brunswick could be left with not enough electricity supply? Is that a possible extension of that, or?
That's the kind of risk we prefer not to run.
I think the same thing applies to the fact that we retain the transmission line, but we've also contracted the 95% of the capacity of the transmission lines, which doesn't leave us much leeway to make any arrangement with anybody else who may want to give us a better deal.
Frank, Lyle just answered the question.
Oh, okay.
Asking what capacity are we looking at?
Frank, is the current limit on the interconnections with Quebec to the DC links or their own transmission system from Levy East?
I think it relates to the system loads that are in the areas on either side of the link. Not the links themselves.
That's what I meant. It's within the transmission system.
Yeah.
It's a pretty low probability that they'll ever run another transmission line from Levy to New Brunswick.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to think big, you would think of this new Romaine project that they're talking about on the Quebec North Shore, which is just north of Havre-Saint-Pierre, across the river from Gaspé. You'd run the transmission line from Havre-Saint-Pierre to Anticosti Island to Gaspé and feed the system backwards so that you don't have to build any transmission lines to get additional capacity to New Brunswick. It comes directly from Romaine. But that's thinking big, that's not...
There still have to be transmission anodes, I think. I don't follow.
Well, the big constraining limit is that long transmission line between Quebec City and Rimouski.
Yes.
Okay. And that's the one that has to be beefed up if we want to take more energy from Quebec.
And
unless that energy comes in from
length.
some other point.
At that point, you'd also have to increase the length.